This week in comic books, we get Joker number 8 came out, and it's another origin story. A lot of beginnings and ends this week. It was weird. Over in the land of Marvel, we get yet another Eternals number 1, because I, I refuse to even guess at this point. Over in the land of Indies, no indies. I didn't pick up any indies this week. Unfortunately, it meant a second trip out to the comic book store, and I didn't have time for that. But I got plenty of comic books to talk about, and you need to stay to the end because major announcements, big time stuff. October is going to be a busy month, and we're going to have a great time together. So let's do the intro and let's jump into it. Hey, what's going on, you wonderful weirdos? As always, I'm Pocan Joe, and you're pretty cool for swinging by. So let's dive into comic books this week, and let's hit up these DCs. First, right up off the bat, the first thing I got was Joker number 8. I was excited. I was kind of hoping, okay, Lady Bane shows up, rips apart some Interpol lady, like literally from limb to limb. It was, right? Gruesome. And then we get this whole narrative about her and her origin and her motives and how she wants to be against her motives. Yeah, some superficial argument could be made that somebody's trying to go beyond what they were created to do to some degree, but really she just wants a Jiminy Cricket. That's why she kidnapped Jim Gordon, right? She needs like somebody with a conscience or passion or whatever it is. The truth is, it just came off bad. It just wasn't good. I didn't enjoy it. So unfortunately, I want some more Joker action. So I don't think I'm gonna just toss it out just yet. I'm gonna hang on just a little while longer and see what happens. Just for hope. For hope, I guess, is really what I'm looking for in that. Justice League Last Ride. So we find out, big twist, right? Cyborg Superman and Darkseid. They hired Lobo to kind of set this whole trap up on Apocalypse. Darkseid's disguised, well, he possesses the body of Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern. So now Darkseid has the power of Green Lantern, and all hell's breaking loose, right? Like the entire planet's coming after. So Batman's like, yeah, Lobo, your job's done. We're going to hire you to work for us. What a twist, right? And I'm like, as campy as it is, it's comical in its own right, and it's cool to see some action in a comic book, like legit panel of action and things happening, versus a bunch of dialogue and explanation in this. A lot is left up to the imagination in it, and I've been enjoying this, so I'll keep picking this up. Moving on, Hardwire. Hardwire's good, but this, and mind you, this is just issue 2. I genuinely like the direction that they're going in. They could have done a Tony Stark kind of thing, or something that we've known, but this has its own voice, and I really like that. My only criticism is sometimes it's kind of hard to follow what's going on, and that's not a hard criticism. It's just like all of a sudden, like we get this young kid who's kind of having his daily experience after having to, see what happened with Hardwire fighting in the streets, and Dad kind of having to deal with that as well. And then it really takes you out of the story whenever they just randomly plant this in there. I get why they're doing it. They're trying to tell kind of two stories into one and how they intertwine with one another. Maybe even the responsibilities of a superhero and how he should, conduct himself. I would even go that far. You're a mentor whether you like it or not type of scenario. But in this one, and I think it has a lot to do with the art too. I'm not a huge fan of the art in here, but I'm so enjoying this story that I can kind of look past that. So I'll keep picking this up. This was pretty good. Let's see here. Oh, Blue and Gold. Hey, bromance happening, right? Got Blue and Gold here. We meet our first real villain in this. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name right now. But she's under the impression, right, that her and her kingdom in space, right, that Earth falls in that kingdom and she technically rules it all. And she's kind of getting some pushback because, like, she wants the rulers of Earth or the deciding body to bow down to her since they're in her kingdom, is how she sees it. There's a term for this. It's royalty something or other. It's a method of thought, if you will. where you know you kind of get the the king's expectations. That's it, right? So she suffers from king's expectations. Uh, the demand, they don't know who she is, they don't know why. So what do? They teleport her into a swamp someplace. That's not working out very well for her. She's a little upset, and we bring back a character to kind of help them kind of start their own little startup company that's going to be crowdfunded. I love the fact that they used crowdfunding in here. I think crowdfunding is great for young entrepreneurs that are trying to get out there. It's a great way to test the market. It's a great way to get yourself in there and do things without having to rely on investors and stuff like that. So I was personally attracted to that. I thought that was smart. You know, let the public, they have a social media following. It only makes sense to go that way. And I like that. That was pretty cool. So yeah, as much thought as that went into that, it's so funny. You know, it's a couple of guys trying to figure something out. It's cool stuff. Let's see here. Challenge of the Super Sun ends, and I liked the ending. I thought the ending was fitting. The dads show up. They kind of help out a little bit. The whole Justice League actually shows up, puts a whipping on old Vandal Savage and Faust, right? Because they started all this thing. Roar kind of gets the validation that she needed in this as well. The Super Sons are still quirky and weird, so it was okay. Was it as good as the first Super Sons thing that we were kind of remembering in recent past? I'm not going to say it was as good as that. Mind you, I only read a couple issues of it. But I would say that this stands on its own two legs, and it's just an enjoyable, quirky story, and just accept it for what it is, with a little whimsy and some sarcasm thrown into it. So overall, the story, as it ran, was decent. It was a decent story. Superman Authority. So I picked this up to see if I could get any clarification into some of the other stuff that's going on in the world of Superman separating from Justice League and all that other kind of stuff in it. I'm not totally sure if I did. Also, I thought for sure we'd get a cool introduction of some cool villains, and we did. Like a human, what is it? The ape guy. Human Seminite? Seminite? The human ape guy. Ultramite, that's it. He's kind of in a Solomon Grundy body here. That was a great part of this. And again, this was the last issue of this, so I may have been missing, like, severe important plot points in it, but I got enough entertainment out of it that I enjoy the villains in it. I enjoy the interaction with the superheroes and them trying to work together, and even getting a little backstory on some of these other superhuman type or I'm just going to say Kryptonians. Let's just say Kryptonians, because there's like a guy, a girl, right? And yeah, we got a little stash on the pronoun thing here. That happened, you know, him, her. I prefer to be called them, they, or whatever. First off, I don't particularly care what you want to call yourself at the end of the day. I generally refer to everybody as slick, you, homie, you know, some generic term. So I don't walk around offending people, right? So if that's your thing, that's your thing. But all in all, I like these characters. I like what they can do. I hope this story carries into another one so I can get some more of these characters. It's usually I forget to go back and get back issues of stuff, you know, in modern history. So this is good. This is good. I like it. Okay, jumping into Marvel. Eternals Forever. So, this is a story that's trying to do a data dump on you, right? They're trying to explain to you these characters because they're overcomplicated to begin with, but they're trying to share with you bits and pieces of knowledge of their backstory, who they are, why they are, etc., while trying to tell you a story at the same time. The problem is it makes the story convoluted and heavy. Like I was dozing off reading this, and it was boring in the beginning, and then it kind of spiked into some action and stuff. But you know, we got to explain who the deviants are. We got to explain why Icarus has his name. We have to explain why this one particular one's on the outskirts of everybody. We have to explain Sprite. Like, we have to explain. Why do we have to explain? There's a movie coming out, and we want you to like the movie. So all you comic book people out there that are relatively new to comic books, here's a data dump for you so you can get excited about an MCU movie again. That's my take on this entire comic book. And that's sad. I shouldn't have to be that critical of it, but it is what it is. Moving on. Hey, did y'all pick this up? Did you pick this up? You read this, right? Oh, if you didn't read this, go get it. Like, even if you were like even I was the same way. Like, there was an arc inside of Immortal Hulk that I didn't find any value in it. I was not entertained by it. It was super, woo woo type stuff, and I was just like, so I fell out, right? And then, of course, 50 comes out, and I'm like, let me go ahead and get it. And luckily, I didn't really miss that much. You still get the concept. It's placed down below. We finally see the one below all, and this kind of godlike manner of him, and he speaks cryptically, and really his speech can be left up to the imagination, right? So the goal for you is to kind of understand the story and the relationship with Bruce Banner, his father, and why he's Hulk, and why a Hulk has to exist, and why not only a Hulk has to exist, but why various parts of Hulk have to exist, meaning Joe Fixit, Baby Hulk, Devil Hulk, things like that. Because they're all just reflections of a personality, right? And then when you add emotion into it, like rage, anger, sadness, hurt feelings, things like that, you start adding this stuff into it, they kind of morph you. And that's kind of the concept of this book and where it's kind of taking you as you read it. And honestly, for the price, I would say that's a pretty legit book. And what about that splash page? Did you see the splash page? The one where you had to double door open it, and there he is, like, flying all over everybody. The one below, flying above everybody. That was weird, but it is what it is. I liked it. I liked it where it left off. We're kind of breaking the fourth wall there and asking, what do you think? I think that's good, and I think it's smart writing, and it was a great way to kind of end this. What do they do next, though? What could possibly be the next Hulk? So where would they take this concept? That's a good question. I have no idea. Good luck. Like, legit, good luck, Marvel. I'm not even sure how you would, if anybody will ever look at Hulk the same way again. Okay, next, Kazar number 2. So I hated Kazar 1. I really did. I did not like that story. And I got to think to myself, being kind of critical, and you're being kind of mean. Why don't just pick up issue 2? What could it possibly hurt? It's another couple of bucks. I wish I could return the comic book. This thing is a mess. It's not a story. It's a bunch of ideas being thrown at you, and then pick up bait like that. Like, that made me ultimately, I was like, dinosaurs with robotic parts? Hell yeah, I'm on board. Yeah, that didn't happen. We got giant spiders and smaller spiders and a bunch of bees and a bunch of garbage that I just don't care about. Like, Kazar's turning into animals. Dinosaurs at that. Why is that happening yet? Because he died at one point? Like, is that what we're supposed to... and this is what you get when you have an objectionably bad story like Empire was, and you try to do a spin-off from it when that story didn't make any sense, and now you're expecting a standalone story to make some kind of sense. We could do an entire Pocan Joe review on its own. I did not like it. It didn't make any sense. There's so many plot holes in it. I'm not even going to go on any further with that. All right, so Kang. So in this one, we get some cool stuff. We get memory pills. You know what memory pills mean when they kind of kind of hint at or outright tell you various things from the past. So we get a lot of Captain America being resurrected in here, and how Kang was listening to this while he was building things, to meet up with himself, or a version of himself. I'm not sure how we're describing that anymore. And, in the background, there's news reports that these various things happen all the way up until when Kang, right, tried to invade our timeline, our space, if you will. All right? And then the young Kang has to go up there, and he tries to convince Dr. Doom to work with him, because Dr. Doom shows up, and he's like, I'm tired of all this garbage, I'm killing everybody. And then bad guy Kang and young Kang kind of team up for a second, and then young Kang double crosses them, and then whoosh back into the time stream, back to ancient Egypt, where he has to run away, and the one true love that he has is apparently ruling a planet. I'm assuming it's another timeline. They didn't really explain that. They did. They I'm assuming they're talking about the amount of speed he traveled through space, allocated to time travel. I guess that's usually the concept they try to go with. Anyway, this hits or miss for me. I like this concept of playing with time and jumping around in it. I wish there was just a more linear understanding of how time works, or how this works for them. Is it the speed thing? Is it a portal? Is it this thing over here, that thing, or like it keeps kind of flip flopping around, and it's kind of hard to follow in some cases. But for the most part, I would probably pick up some more of this. Kang is hot right now, so why not? Let's read some more of that. Next, Amazing Spider-Man number 76. So we're doubling down on this Clone War pickup. Okay, I'm on board. A lot of you in the community have talked to me about this, and you kind of expressed your views on why you liked this particular version of this and how this is going to go. And I said, okay, I'm on board. This is the emotional, motivational part of it, right? We get some cool shots of Ben Reilly, Spider-Man. Should we call him something else? Like, he literally works for the company that trademarked it, so that's kind of weird. I'm not sure if we should Raleigh Spider-Man. Right? Makes it hard to review. We also get some action with the UFOs in here doing some cool stuff. Big surprise ending in this as well. And, of course, it wouldn't be a story from the 90s, 80s without, big cuffs with lasers on them. Okay, I'm on board. All right, so again, I did not pick up any indies this week. I apologize for that, but I'm excited. Let me tell you why I'm so excited. So, the Blaster Stash It Delta Dog variant is it's coming off the presses as we speak. We're going to do a launch for you. Don't worry. This month, we're going to launch it for you. We're going to tell you where you can get it. We're going to get some out to some of you out there. And for you that, just want a copy, we're going to tell you the link and everything to get it from. Big shout out to Austin LeMay for this cover. He did a fantastic job. It's so awesome. I can't help it. It's kind of got this hip-hop variant vibe to it. It is super cool. Speaking of hip-hop variant, I'm going to be in a rap battle. Who figured? This is something I've always found interesting. I've always wanted to be in a rap battle. Now, mind you, I'm by no means a rapper. Like I think if you've been here long enough, I'm not a rapper. But I want to learn how to do it. So I'm teaching myself how to do it, and I'm breaking it down to its most basic formulas and then building from that. We may do something in the evil layer where I try to explain it like a mathematical problem. I think you find that interesting. If you do, let me know in the comments down below. I think it would be interesting. So yeah, I find this is more just something to check off the old bucket list. Rap battle, done. Something to put in my obituary. Was in a rap battle. Didn't win. Was in a rap battle. That would be awesome. Last but not least, last minute decision. I am going to Baltimore Comic Con. I'm going down there for one day. And I'm going to hack it. We're going to do an evil layer project on site. So what I've done is I've reached out to some friends at Yard Tech. Yard Tech make these cards right here. You've seen these cards before. You open hotel rooms and stuff with them. These are solid black, and they're supposed to be a little stronger, or be able to, we'll just use the term stronger. And what we're going to do is we're going to program these so you'll subscribe to evil layer projects and builds. It'd be fun. So me and my old bird, we're going to go down there. Look like I got family down there, so we'll be doing some other things. So if you're going to Baltimore Comic Con, definitely let me know in the comments below. Love to see you. You'll see me be bopping around and probably secretly placing these things. So don't rat me out, right? But yeah, we're going to do that where if your phone brushes up against it, you're subscribed to a brand new YouTube channel about comic book building stuff. I don't know where I get this stuff. Last but not least, don't forget, Blaster Stash at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the YouTubes. Myself, Huey, Spectacular Spider Grandpa, we're going to get together. We're going to talk about these books, plus a lot more. And we got a live chat going on. And I definitely want to see you in there and kind of, have those conversations about what's going on in these comic books. What are we missing? What are we liking? What do we see in them? Because what's the point of buying all this stuff if you can't talk about it, right? So definitely come on over. Plus, this Friday we got a special guest, Mr. White Shadow himself, Chip Getler, who's helping me with an Evil Layer project. So yeah, he's on board. So yeah, so that's really cool. And keep your eyes open. New Evil Air project should be coming out here real soon. We're making a prosthetic finger for Nick's Cakes and Comics right here in the comic book community. He's got a great channel. Definitely check him out. We're going to make him a finger, and then we're going to add some bio enhancements to it. That's the best way I can put that. We're going to make it like just a finger. Like, I'm not going to do that. I get the finger all the time. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to make a couple. We'll make like a normal one and then like 2 that do something very special. So definitely, if you hit the notification bell, you'll never be left out. All right, guys, I got nothing else. I got to get out of here. It's obviously a very busy month for me. So catch you on the next one. Bye.